So today we're going to talk about how to prevent muscle loss when dieting, which is a very prominent thing now. We're coming into the summer, it's only February, because a lot of people are going to be starting their dieting phase, and the main goal, if you're coming off of a bulk, is to try and retain as much muscle mass as possible, which is obviously the whole point of bulking. When you start dieting, you don't obviously lose all that muscle tissue. So we're going to go through 3 points today, which are the main points that we both find are paramount in terms of retaining muscle mass. The first one for me, which I think is probably more important than anything, is maintaining your strength and logbooking your lifts. So every training session I will write down my lifts so I know my strength, I know where everything is. I've recently been ill, and that's been an interesting barometer to see, get my strength back to where I was pre-illness.
Which I just may add for 1 minute, it means that I'm actually beating him on some lifts.
I only like the small ancillary ones because I'm focusing on contraction.
Well, it is what it is, mate, sorry.
Enough about jiving me, but so essentially the most important thing is you know where your strength levels are. So as you're bringing your body weight down, you're monitoring your strength. If your strength suddenly starts to drop a lot, you need to make an adjustment there. Maybe look at dropping your training volumes, the amount of overall sets you're doing, or maybe looking at putting more carbohydrates towards the workout, or maybe you need to refeed if you're very flat. So I don't know if you'd agree, but that's probably the most important thing I see to look at.
The majority of the time though, you just see it. It's one point that I kind of make, and we both make, is monitoring your lifts, whether it be, if you do it in your head, that's cool, but majority of the time you're not gonna remember everything. So just noting it down, or having a training partner that you know you're matching, and just one of you's noting it down, then that's cool. But that's probably one of the biggest things that you see. Loads and loads of guys go in the gym, and you're always going to stay in your comfort zone. You're always going to go with what you're
got to push the limits.
Yeah, what you're naturally lifting and have been lifting. So even if it's a case of you marking down your working sets rather than your like feeler sets, then noting down is a big.
The most important thing that I always look at for me is, like, at the start of every exercise you'll have a main compound lift which you're looking to try and focus on. So today, for example, we did a pull session, we focused on RDLs, so that was the main lift. The whole thing I'm thinking about is that's the most important 2 sets in terms of maintaining my strength or improving my strength. As you're going further into session, if you're doing biceps, you're not realistically going to jump up huge amounts of weight. That's where you would focus more on the contraction and feeling the movement rather than just throwing weight around. You're not going to progressively load a lateral raise, because you can't get to the point where you're doing 30 kilo lateral raises, because that's retarded.
Majority of compound movements you want to note down, but the isolation movements, that's where the fluffy stuff comes in, that's where the pump comes in. So as long as you're noting down your compound movements, then you're gonna win there.
Secondly, we're going to talk about pushing nutrients around the workout and carbohydrate timing. So obviously your body needs fuel to function, so carbohydrates are paramount again to maintaining strength if you're in performance in the gym, which will keep the lean muscle tissue on you. So as you diet down, I would always suggest taking carbs and calories away from meals, further away from training, and keeping your carbohydrates around the training window so you can try and fuel the performance then. Giving another example, as in what I'm doing this week, I am adding a Starbucks style muffin into my pre-workout every meal to try and bump my carbs and calories up a little bit from where I've been ill, and I'm still a little bit flat, and I'm trying to get my strength back to where I was previously. He's having like 3 Starbucks muffins anyway, but that's another story. I don't know how you feel about this.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed through my personal training is implementing carbohydrates around your training, and the most important one is intra. Like a lot of people talk about the post-anabolic window of training, so trying to get your nutrients in like 30 minutes after you train. But if you're implementing an intra workout, then that allows you to push it back a little bit further. And also, if you're training intensity and you're trying to hit your max lifts, the intra workout is going to be massive.
You're feeding your body while it's training, and you're taking your body's at most risk of losing muscle tissue when you're training, because that's when it becomes most catabolic. So if we can try and get some nutrients into your system whilst you're training, you'll try and prevent some of the muscle loss there.
And if you kind of look at it as majority of people nowadays take pre-workout, like an actual pre-workout, to get pumps up and ready for the workout. Well, to be fair, like the intra-workout is 10 times more important than that pre-workout.
Yeah, when you're actually training.
That's what's going to fuel you throughout your session and going to keep you at a certain level throughout your session, rather than you dipping down like half an hour in.
And thirdly, last point we want to discuss of the three is in terms of cardio. So cardio is obviously a tool which is very, very important if you're looking to get lean. I myself am a big advocate of doing cardio. I like to do more and eat more because that suits me personally, because I'm greedy and I like to eat a lot. But this is with a caveat that you don't want to do too much, and if you push the cardio too much, that is when you come to the point of losing a lot of muscle tissue. So you need to be clever with how you're doing it. My personal preference, if you can, is to keep cardio as far away as possible from the weight training. So I would ideally, if your schedule will allow, will let you do your cardio first thing in the morning and then train later on in the day. So the two have a little bit of a gap between the two of them. If it comes to it, you can do cardio post-workout, but then I wouldn't push that to like, I wouldn't do like an hour of cardio after you've done weights for 2 hours or so, because your body's very vulnerable at that point to then losing muscle tissue. So that would be something to monitor. You agree?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm always going to be more of an advocate of pushing up cardio rather than dropping calories, because you want to fuel your workouts.
Yeah, your body needs nutrients to function.
In regards to cardio, like listen, it depends what you are. Everyone's so individual anyway.
And how fast your metabolism is.
What I've found personally is my body reacts a lot better to low intensity cardio than high intensity cardio. That's not going to be the case for everyone, and again, you're going to have to try it and see what works best for you, monitor it. But in regards to trying to retain as much muscle mass as possible whilst dieting, my personal opinion is that low intensity cardio is going to serve you a lot better than high intensity.
And another reason for that also comes to do with recovery. So obviously, if you think when you're dieting, the reason you lose muscle mass is because you're in a calorie deficit, you're doing cardio, so your body hasn't got enough nutrients and you're burning more calories than you're used to, so your recovery is very, very much impeded. If you then also take into the fact you need to look at your training volume as well, I would look at maybe reducing that a little bit. What a lot of people do, and I did this personally last year when competing, is you get to the mentality that more is better. So you get overexcited, thinking, oh, I'm gonna do another set, I'll work harder. But what you don't actually realise is not the volume and doing more that counts, it's the quality of what you're doing that will get you better results rather than doing more. Definitely. So these are 3 easy tips to prevent losing muscle when getting lean. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let us know what you think. Please follow Mike, please subscribe to the channel, please comment below.
Peace.